Good evening. I wanted to talk about progressivism and how it relates to corporate America and the left, corporate America, liberals, corporate America, international corporations, however you want to define it, the business world. Um, the left hates corporations. They think they're evil. They think everybody's evil, but that's besides the point. Everybody but them. Um, but the irony of it is why is it that corporations love the left so much? Dick's Sporting Goods stops selling certain kinds of firearms to support the left, which is odd because probably 90% of the customers at Dick's Sporting Goods are not from the left. So you got to ask yourself why, and I think I know why. The corporate America loves government programs because government programs take them off the hook. If 401ks took pensions off the hook, um, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, took corporations off the hook. Um, Food stamps takes corporations off the hook. Welfare takes corporations off the hook. Medicaid takes corporations off the hook. Medicare even takes corporations off the hook. And what is it that they're doing? They're transferring expense from the employer to the government. And who pays taxes to the government? The employers do, but do they really? Income tax, property taxes, sales tax, gas tax, corporate tax. But they really don't. You know who pays all these government programs? Is sure the middle class does, but nobody really does because it's all built into the government debt. Furthermore, if you want to really look at corporations, how much they love to get their responsibilities off on government. And you know what? If we're stupid enough to let them, it's our own damn faults. Look at the bank bailout, corporate bailout. It was more than banks, but $700 billion is what is, according to most people, think that the banks were given $700 billion in bailouts, and that money was paid back, which is untrue and untrue. As the fact checkers would go, there's a lot of Pinocchios there. There's really no way that money could have been paid back because the incomes of those corporations couldn't have paid that money back. The net incomes after expenses, they could not have paid that money back. What they did was the taxpayers gave them $700 billion, and the Federal Reserve gave them $15 to $30 trillion in 0% or 0.25%. Maybe Europe got, I think the loans that our Federal Reserve gave to European corporations and banks was 0.5%. So basically, it's sort of like this. It's like they took the taxpayers' money, then the Fed gave them, they took the taxpayers' money, which equates to $700 billion, which is about $2,000 for every man, woman, and child that is alive in the United States. But then the government, the Federal Reserve, lent them. Now, if somebody said to me that I could get a revolving credit line with a 0% interest rate for $1 billion, that's not a loan. That's a free gift. So they called it a loan when it was really just money to corporations. And in fact, what I read on Forbes and other magazines, it's $15 to $30 trillion, which is between, and I roughly here, $50,000 and $100,000 to the banks for every man, woman, and child in the United States of America. And we're not just talking about domestic companies. We're talking about Europe too. So why would corporate America not want to pass off its moral obligation, its financial obligation, its cultural obligation to pay and to pay a worker when they can just be subsidized by the government and by government debt? And let me tell you, when the debt hits the fan, and it will hit the fan someday, those corporations are going to be long gone. It's the people that are here that are going to be left holding the bag, and it's going to be a hell of a bag. You know, it's going to happen someday. I don't know if it's going to happen in a year, 10 years. I don't think it'll happen. I think it'll happen in my lifetime. And you know, it's so. Just all you lefties, ask yourself why corporate American likes and supports all your policies so much, you know. And really, who is it that they don't support? They don't support constitutional conservatives because we have power and rights, you know, with the Constitution. They're pulling the wool over your eyes, folks. And I'm sorry. Any second-rate accountant could figure out what I'm talking about right now. So shame on you. That some of the people on the left don't know any better, but some of you do, or you don't think it through. I don't know what it is, but it's very sad. So it's just to remind you on the left, you progressives, you're the ones that corporate America adores. They adore your policies. They love your policies. You make the stockholders more money. Oh, by the way, are you stockholders? Not many of you. I can tell you that right now. So stop blaming the run-of-the-mill average Joe who's working 40 or 50 hours a week, who happens to have white skin, for your woes when you're setting your own selves up for it. That's my little spiel for tonight. And with that, I'll say have a nice evening. Thank you.